All right, John. We're gonna move in the next one.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. I have.
Nobody like this one either.
No. I have a statement that I've asked Tad to read on this film.
Oh, perfect.
Okay, give me it momentarily.
Okay, good enough.
Here we go. She Dies Tomorrow. My biggest objection to this film is not in the body of the film. If I had seen She Dies Tomorrow at a festival or in a Vimeo stream, I would have considered it an interesting basis for a film. If not interesting in itself, it's not a story, but rather a loose, improvised framework based on a single idea. It was obviously self-produced, made for nothing in friends' houses and backyards, which tempers my expectations for it having anything more than basic production values. I have seen a lot of films made this level. Some are wonderful and engaging, others are dreadful, boring, wastes of time. But She Dies Tomorrow was not one of these films. I paid for it on Amazon Prime. The film was distributed by Neon, the same distribution company behind Parasite, last year's winner for Best Picture. This logo becomes the first term of a dialectical argument. It means this slight, unscripted, borderline silly home movie got the full Hollywood treatment. Posters, reviews, and if it were possible, full theatrical engagement. In normal times, this film would probably be spooling out at an Alamo Drafthouse near you. Amy Seimetz is a rather successful B-list actress and worked behind the camera on The Girlfriend Experience. Her resume was all it took for She Dies Tomorrow to land a deal with Neon Pictures to distribute her half-baked movie, a film which entirely consists of a series of actors saying, "I'm gonna die tomorrow," over and over and over. If you've ever toiled on a screenplay and submitted a spec for consideration, you'll run smack into a phalanx of gatekeepers who are eager to tell you every place your manuscript deviates from the norm. What's the 10-minute development? Is the protagonist relatable? Where are your story arcs? These gatekeepers are just flaming your script to keep you out. They're trying to make sure that the films they invest in have intrinsic entertainment value. She Dies Tomorrow follows none of these rules, none at all, but damn if Neon didn't distribute it anyway. So my objection to this film isn't with this film, my objection is against the system that decided it was worthy of release. As far as I'm concerned, we all gave $30 to support some Hollywood nepotism. $30 that should have gone to a filmmaker with an actual story to tell.
That was you, Scott?
That was me.
They could have given $30 to somebody to make a commercial, and I would have been happy.
So, in and of itself, the film itself is what it was, But the fact that it was boring and there was nothing to it. It was made for nothing. And I didn't get to say that, I have a DMX light every time someone says I'm going to die tomorrow is not really a great effect. It's silly and obvious, and don't get me started.
It's sort of an unintentional comedy.
There's some comedy in it.
Intentional comedy.
I got extraordinarily confused at several points in the movie because I was just like, I don't know what's going on here. The characters obviously don't know what's going on here. The script doesn't know what's going on here. I'm not sure the director knows what's going on here, and I'm just staring at blinking lights. There's just blinking lights happening.
Hour and 18 minutes. How many of those minutes were taking up of with the shit that's going on behind my head right now? At least 7, 8, 9 minutes.
It ate a good 7 or 8 minutes to screen time.
Also,
I thought it was going to become a phase 4.
Me too. I thought that shit in the microscope meant something.
Nothing meant anything. Nothing in this movie meant anything.
There was no meaning whatsoever.
I want Jared to apologize for getting mad about Perfect Sense, because there was a movie that took an idea. What if there was a plague that worked on all your senses one at a time? And it took that and actually tried to do something with it.
Perfect Sense is
there's a
better film than this film.
There's an idea somewhere, which is, what if, existential dread, or there's a condition where you think you're going to die tomorrow, and you can actually pass that along to other people.
Yeah.
It's an intriguing concept.
Right hand, that turns into a version of Children of Men.
Yeah.
Or a version of
like there's a condition where people think they're going to die, and basically, what would you do if you thought you had 24 hours to live? You wouldn't just stare off into the middle distance in some kind of waking coma. You
and
go
say,
or like
I'm going to die tomorrow.
I feel like that film It Follows did a better job with a weird premise that gets passed on, you know,
right,
and actually made it like
The Happening did a better job. Happening, which is a terrible movie.
Terrible fucking
the
movie.
worst.
Also,
But I like a slow build up, but this was just like painful. Like
right.
it was 20 minutes before she said, "I think I'm gonna die tomorrow" for the first time, and you're like, "Okay, finally." Like,
but I read that in the description.
Well, and also
You're waiting for it, weren't you?
The director has said that this is based on her experience with panic attacks and explaining panic attacks to people and anxiety attacks and stuff like that. And I get that. Like I occasionally have panic attacks. And when you try to tell someone that when you're having a panic attack, you feel like you're going to die, people don't believe you.
yeah,
It's like if you haven't experienced that, you don't understand what that's like. It's like I'm literally sitting here and I feel like I'm going to die. Like something will kill me right now. And
but you can say I'm having a panic attack, and I think some people will understand it.
No,
right.
you don't.
Saying
No,
I'm
what
gonna
I'm saying
die
is
is just bullshit.
This movie does a terrible job of expanding on what that feels like because you look like an idiot.
Not only that, like
Mhm.
all the characters are the most like shallow aging hipsters that you've like ever fucking
This
seen.
movie is so
Like-
it's so bougie, man. It's like, do you have any regrets? Oh, I regret I didn't go to Mallorca last year. It's like, go fuck yourself.
You
And
didn't,
then one woman's
care-
walking down the stairs and says, oh, well, people know not to bother me during my creative time.
Let me-
Go
I'm gonna
fuck
talk
yourself.
tailgate
Some of
about-
the best dialogue, though. Some of the best dialogue was
Like-
between the Asian woman and her boyfriend, the black boyfriend. Who's
Yeah, actually.
Tunde from fucking TV on the radio. How do you make him boring?
I don't know.
like they talked about dolphins fucking for like 10 minutes. I'm just like, these are the most shallow people.
They could have
like,
shown us
Mhm.
dolphins fucking.
you didn't care about anybody. Like I wish they would have all died like immediately. I was like,
Or do like they did in The Boys this week, and everyone's head explodes like with 24 hours after they first think they're gonna die. Then and that's the end of them. That'd be hilarious.
The birthday party scene is bad, and it made me think of the good dinner party scene in what was the movie we watched a little while back that had about the same budget as this? Coherent.
Oh, yeah, Coherent.
Coherent.
Yeah.
Oh fuck. No, compare and contrast, man. These two movies, Coherence and
Which
this film.
I didn't like Coherence, but I still liked Coherence a hell of a lot better than this.
Same budget, same idea, same
Yes.
level of improv is the same in that thing.
Coherence is infinitely better because the script is so solid.
It was mostly improv. That's the thing.
And the direction was better.
Yes, it was weird. It's like they're like comparisons to each other.
I found
even
the people.
the scenes where she's sifting through the fucking dirt on the side of the hill was badly done.
Yes, it was.
It was the record player and the just.
Can we talk about how that?
Let's talk about record players, please.
Mozart ever.
Let's talk about that song. So is that song the thing killing everyone? Because why is everyone listening to that same fucking song?
Don't forget
it's Mozart's Requiem Mass.
Yes.
It's the Lacrimosa, which
Yes.
is basically the words mean a day full of tears.
Time to be sad.
It's time to be sad.
And I adore Requiem. Like Requiem is
Requiem
one of
is
my
great.
favorite pieces of music ever.
Okay.
And the like
this ruined it for you.
no, it didn't ruin it for
It
me.
didn't ruin it.
It just
but
didn't
went-
feel like anything.
No, it was on the nose. It was too on the nose.
Yes, agreed.
I watched this movie last night completely sober as soon as I got home from work, and I don't remember a fucking thing that happened.
Can we clarify a few things just collectively?
Please, I like what you did. This is good.
So the people, so it passed on to people every time someone told someone that they think they're going to die
It
tomorrow.
was the ring.
The next person, right? But here's the thing: everyone killed someone, right?
What?
Uh,
I didn't see that.
So
did
the girl,
sister-in-law,
the
did
girl,
sister-in-law
the
kill
mate,
somebody?
the crying girl killed her boyfriend, right?
No, he killed himself.
Himself.
He killed himself. The black guy and his Asian girlfriend killed his father.
Yes.
Yes.
The married couple killed their daughter.
Is that what they did? They said we've done it. And I
Yeah.
didn't know what they
Well,
meant.
no,
I think they
killed
poisoned
by,
her?
like saying that they weren't going to
Wake her up.
Yeah, I
she
think
died in her
did they poison her so that she would let her die?
No, they were because
No. I interpreted
The
that
movie poisoned her.
they still believed that everyone was going to die.
Yeah.
So they said, let her sleep because it's better if she doesn't wake up and be scared.
Dies.
This is like the asteroid's going to hit the Earth kind of thing.
Yeah,
also, did any of this happen?
Historically?
No, I mean in the movie. Did any of this happen?
No. The protagonist at the end was still crawling around near Pear Blossom Highway. And they're still not dead.
Also,
so here's another question. Did it all start, though, with the pizza delivery guy?
Yeah, he's patient zero.
Yes.
Yeah.
So maybe don't order pizza anymore.
But
because when he got the pizza, like that's when it all started.
Oh, the flashback delineation was so awkward. I had to like really concentrate on what was being flashed back.
You do. It's not done well. There's flashbacks, but you're like, okay, now I see what we're doing. But she doesn't do it in a way that is interesting. It's more like you have to solve a puzzle that it's a picture of, like the jigsaw puzzle is like a picture of something that you hate.
Right. I want to go around the room. I want to go around the room here. I'm going back to this. I'm going to say it again. I want everyone to answer. We'll do Jim, Jared, John, Chris, Scott. Did this movie happen? Did the things that transpire on screen actually occur in real life? Or was this a dream or a fantasy? Or was she just having a panic attack and this is what she thought the world was going to be? Jim.
I doubt it. That any of it was real diegetically within the movie.
Right.
I started doubting it almost immediately.
Jared.
I don't know. It's so stupid. I think I know Amy as an actress, and I know Shane Carruth as her boyfriend for a long time. I think she thinks this really happened in her film.
Okay, John.
I agree with Jared in that respect. And by the way, yes, you can really feel the influence of Shane Carruth on this.
Yes.
Very much.
She got a restraining order against him, right?
True.
She said he abused her.
Wow.
I think this movie
hold on.
That's Chris, an influence. I'll give you that.
Did this happen?
I don't care.
Okay, Scott.
Yeah, that's my answer too. I
think she really wanted to convince us this really happened, but it was so ineptly put together that we'll never know.
My answer is no. My answer is she's been sleeping on that pile of rocks since the beginning of the movie.
Oh, she's not even on a pile of rocks. She's in her fucking bed. She never got out of bed.
Oh, it's like that's like Mulholland Drive.
Yeah,
if you like,
Sure.
It's like Mulholland Drive with one actor.
There were some very slight links to that too.
You do see a little bit of influence of Shane Carruth. John is right, but it's like if you watch Upstream Color, which is a good film,
good movie.
Mm-hmm.
You can see that she can't quite put the puzzle pieces together. She doesn't.
Yeah, it's
like she doesn't know what
Coppola. You can
again.
You think she was influenced him, or you think she's
the influence of
25 of it at least?
Do you think she's influenced or just cribbing him? What do you think?
I think she's genuinely influenced. I think.
I felt like a genuine influence. What did you just say, Jim? I didn't catch it. I'm sorry.
It's like Sofia Coppola's Lost in Translation. You can see the influence of Spike Jonze, whom she was divorcing at the time. She made
That's what the movie was about. It was about her hanging out in a hotel room. He was shooting music videos in Japan.
Yeah.
And since she's such an unplucked string of a person, for her there was a fascinating experience staying in a $5,000 night hotel room in Tokyo. Okay. All right, I'm unplugging my brain right now. Move on.
I have a question for Tad.
Yes.
The sister-in-law, I forget what the fuck her name is. Was she actually going to die the next day, or did she just say it because she wanted to be part of the gang?
I actually think that's the correct answer. I think she's very much
fit in.
No, it passes on, just like in It Follows. It passes.
Oh, dude, It Follows. That was the thing that was nagging me. This is a perfect version of this. It's all about. It's one-on-one. It Follows, but very low budget, a very simple concept that this monster's transferred on from person to person to person,
but like executed brilliantly.
Oh fuck! For no budget at all, it was just goddamn brilliant.
And this is just like, and also I don't know if you could write more dislikable or apathetic characters than these people in this movie.
Nobody was likable.
Coherence tried. Coherence tried to make more dislikable people, and somehow didn't.
Adams.
What?
Everything.
What?
There was
Dane
nothing.
Adams is usually great in everything.
She was the shining light of this film. I thought when we were with the lead character at the beginning and the end of the movie, that was the worst part of the film.
Yeah.
That part was following Jane Addams to the doctor's office and seeing her do her stuff because she's a very good actress.
She is.
Well, this is a really good cast.
I thought the doctor was good too.
He was.
Well, that's Josh Lucas. He's amazing. Yeah. There's so many good people in this movie.
A lot of really good people.
No, there's actually one of them
just pops up for like 5 minutes.
Yeah. I suddenly remembered her talking about the air conditioners falling out of the windows in New York.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I mean, like, I get it, but also that's never happened.
Okay.
Like, that's
and
not.
She really sounded crazy at that point. If I may use it in its.
Well, you've got her. You've got Chris Messina. Like all these amazing actors.
Very watchable.
Again, here's
Michelle Rodriguez, usually very watchable.
All right, stop right there. Michelle Rodriguez is the tell of this movie.
How so?
They obviously filmed it in her backyard. And her and her friend were lounging around the back, and they took this premise and laid it out in the most bored way they possibly could. Oh, I think I'm gonna die tomorrow. Well, if I died tomorrow, I'd do this. And it was like,
it's my last period.
It was probably the last shooting day, and they got him to agree to be in the film, and they just kind of took the premise and just shook it around like a sleeping puppy, and that was the end of it.
That blonde actress.
We'll come over to your house, and you don't even have to get out of the pool.
Yes, that's exactly how it felt, and that was the giveaway for the rest of the movie.
Wear whatever you're wearing. I did like the I'm gonna miss trees line, and everybody in my house laughed out loud.
I looked up this line. I did like one line that Jane, what's her name, the actress?
Jane Addams.
Yeah, Jane Addams. She's great.
Who was good?
I love this line that she said. I looked it up. Man is the only creature who refuses to be what he is.
Yeah, that's.
Have you ever sat around with a group of people who are all really, really stoned and you were not? Like,
yes.
It's not as fun as it sounds.
That's what watching this. That's what watching this movie felt like.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that made me think about
the movie. They were all fucked up, and yes,
that made me think about this line from you guys. Name this movie, okay? I'm gonna read this thing. You guys name this movie.
By all means.
All right. Here's trivia. Trivia. Once upon a time, a woman was picking up firewood. She came upon a poisonous snake frozen in the snow. She took the snake home and nursed it back to health. One day, the snake bit her on the cheek. As she lay dying, she asked the snake, "Why have you done this to me?" And the snake answered, "Look, bitch, you knew I was a snake."
I've heard versions of this in lots of movies, but not the specific one.
Yeah, it's the scorpion and the frog.
Yeah. What was it? I'm curious.
Is that Jackie Brown?
Natural Born Killers.
Yes.
But it's sort of like, but that's what Jane Addams was talking about.
Of course, it is Tarantino.
We don't pretend to be the animals that we are because we have conscious thought and intellect and like social fucking bullshit. Mm-hmm. And she's like, how can we, man and woman, humans, people pretend to not be animals?
Because she's protecting her creative time.
It's just interesting.
Fuck.
Yeah.
And
God damn it!
There was a good idea here.
With dinosaurs.
So the thing is, like,
Chris, I don't think there was actually. Because other movies have done this better, so there wasn't a good idea here.
There were like 20 or 30 movies that did this.
I think even Woody Allen explores existential dread better than this movie.
Yes.
Also, if this was any less than stellar film festival, we'd see 20 of these. You know, he goes, I've sat through so many of these movies.
Which is why I don't go to film festivals.
Which is why my screed was not about the film, but the fact got released. That's the thing. It didn't deserve that.
You bring up a good point.
Yeah.
Existential.
It felt like a mic drop. It stopped us all in our tracks. I want to know how many seconds went by before anybody said anything after Tad finished reading your thing.
Well, there it is.
I think she also had this thing that overstayed its welcome. At first, it was cool, but where she would build an audio crescendo and then cut immediately.
Yeah.
Which was a cool technique the first like 5 times, and then it was like, can you fucking stop? Like,
right.
We get what you're doing.
My subwoofer was going bananas. I had to keep turning it down.
Wow.
Yeah.
Taking the whole living room.
Yeah, the same thing. The beginning part was extraordinarily loud, as a matter of fact. I got a few complaints from the household before I had to turn it back down and put the couch closer to the TV. So John, what's on?
Plan for the End of the World was the other comparison that I thought of. If you want to put a bunch of people,
that's a good movie.
That's
a very good movie. And if you want to put a bunch of people in the position of what are they going to do if they know for a fact they're going to die in a certain short period of time.
Right.
But I think this particular film though seemed to me more about acceptance of that fact, not like what that is, rather than okay, I accept it now. What am I going to do? I think that's a different.
Through like a bored bougie filter, like
well, like I think these people didn't want to.
I like seeing the dune buggy guy because he was not part of that class.
Right, yeah.
I can't die next week. I can't die tomorrow. I have a mortgage. I'm running a business here.
I'm running.
Not on my watch. You're not.
That's the thing. Also, thinking you're gonna die tomorrow and being all hysterical and not hysterical. But being like completely like obsessed about it is something somebody without a real job has time to do.
It's a luxury, right?
And I don't think anybody in this movie had a goddamn job.
Well, you bring up a good point because like
yeah.
there is some critique just about our society these days, like creating bullshit and worrying about it and discussing it and talking about it and arguing about it because we don't have any real problems anymore.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think
people used to have to just like fucking work and like support themselves.
They didn't have. I have news for you. A lot of people still do have.
Yeah, right.
No, Jared, I think you got to tail something important. That's a very important point.
Now we make up fucking stupid shit to argue about, like fucking trannies using the restroom because we were fucking bored.
Yeah.
Like it's like, who gives a shit?
Yeah. No.
We just don't have
bathroom anytime.
Like Silicon Valley has made it so that people don't fucking have jobs anymore. So like,
true, yeah.
Oh, careful! Silicon Valley paid for this house.
It's never been easier to be up your own ass than it is now. That's for sure.
And I think that's the goal. That's what's so funny is like that was the goal. But now that we're here, we're a bunch of assholes.
Mm-hmm.
Right. It's a very COVID era film as well.
I wouldn't want to be behind any of these people at Starbucks. Kind of.
I wouldn't want to be in front of them at Starbucks.
Yeah.
Dude, these people would never go to Starbucks. They would go to the fucking,
they get DoorDash delivered.
These are definitely Starbucks people who think that Starbucks is
because they're
they go to the local one. They go to the local
coffee bean.
Okay, they're coffee bean and tea leaf people. Thank you, John. That's exactly right.
That is correct.
Does that place still exist?
All over Los Angeles, buddy. If you want to write a screenplay, you got to check into a coffee bean and tea leaf. Mm-hmm. But
one of those.
Okay, John.
I know what I'm doing wrong.
See, you should be in a CBT right now, dude. So, John, what brought this on? Why did you pick this?
Again, read something on the internet. Reviews.
The reviews were good.
It's got really good reviews. It does.
What? This?
I don't understand them, but they got good reviews.
Can I bug my eyes any bigger at the camera? Like what? Wait.
What?
Yeah, Tex Avery.
What? Okay, there you go.
I mean, I hate to state the obvious, but it's the time for people of color and women to make stories, and I love that. That's great.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's
they're allowed to make shitty stories.
Well, if anything, that's kind of
a lot of white guys have made shitty movies now.
I know. That's what, and I was being sincere, John.
Yeah, it was strangely reassuring that way. It's like, wow,
we won't truly be equal until every race, color, creed, gender gets to make terrible movies because they're friends with somebody who's important.
Yeah, but here's the thing, because John and I briefly talked about this, and he's right. I mean, the amount of white men who've made shitty movies is astronomical, right?
They wrote whole books on it.
But here's a question then. Are we disproportionately celebrating shitty movies now though because they're not made by white men?
No.
Green Book?
Don't we make an argument that people celebrate shitty movies because the mainstream films are so locked into a formula that you see something that's really unusual, like not having a story or having like
I guess the real question
people
is
really attach themselves to it.
That's on something there because just for that virtue of that alone, that it doesn't feel like a Hollywood movie.
It definitely doesn't feel like a
Hollywood. Oh, John, you're locked up.
Wait, John, go back. You're locked up.
There you go. You're back.
John, can you repeat that?
I just said it doesn't feel like a Hollywood movie. Jim heard me.
Yeah, it did not feel like a Hollywood movie.
No, it felt like a home movie.
No, but I'm saying like why the good fight?
It didn't even feel like a home movie.
But coherence.
The real question is why is this movie getting good reviews? That's the question.
That's a fairly good question. I have no idea. I didn't read the reviews.
It's like an 84% on Rotten Tomatoes. Like 87%.
It is running against a shallow field. That's one thing.
It was supposed to be released at what's the Southwest SX
South by Southwest.
South by
yeah.
Well, the paraphrase you're looking for is that this film condemns the taste of our era. Because it's like if people like it,
tastes like our era.
And no, if people are saying it's great, that means that nobody has any taste left.
Yeah, this is true.
So this tastes like licking wildfire smoke off the wall. Like I don't.
Scott, I've been arguing that for decades. Dude.
I believe it. But the thing is, it's easy to get on hobby horse and saying, well, of course we're all shitty. I mean, we all review shitty films, but I'm sure that was true 100 years ago. So it's a slippery slope. But I think it's just because people. I think that films that look unusual get more attention.
100 years ago, white people were actually talented.
No, they were just as shitty as they are now, and they're making just as bad movies as they are now.
I thought you were
and people were giving terrible, shitty films a pass back then too. I'm sure all the great reviews for Birth of a Nation,
Surgeon's Law, right?
Birth of a Nation, 5 stars.
Birth of a Nation.
Bring your family. It's a fantastic film. Yeah, bring your black servants. They'll love it. They see themselves in the movie.
Family.
Don't forget your fucking KKK uniform.
Yeah, exactly. Half price for KKK members.
That movie revived the KKK.
Yeah, exactly.
It did.